BBC Radio Nottingham.
Good morning, it's Andy and Sarah at breakfast. Do you remember those years when all the mines were closing down in Nottinghamshire? It seemed like it was one after another, didn't it? Massive change for the county. And for all of those former mining towns, places like Annesley, Clipston, Brinsley, to name a few, the last couple of decades have been difficult, adapting to a new way of life. But here's some new industries. Artisan bakeries, microbreweries and even plans for a Prosecco bar. Probably not on the list of things you'd expect to see in a town once dominated by colliery workers and their families.
But that is exactly what you'll find in Hucknall. So is a change from pit to posh on the cards for the town. BBC Radio Nottingham's Dominic Johnson is Hucknall born and bred, and he's been to see what's happening.
Being a local lad, I've spent quite a lot of time here in Hucknall town centre. Childhood weekends were spent wandering the aisles of Safeway or browsing the pick and mix at Meeson's, or even making a visit to Edward Island to get kitted out with my new school shoes. All those shops are long gone now. It's clear to see that Hucknall's changed in a big way through the years. The arrival of the tram, the big Tesco, most recently the pedestrianisation of the high street. But now it seems even more changes are on the way, and things might be going a bit upmarket. So, as I'm on the high street, I've come to Walton and Allen estate agents to meet senior valuer Richard Cardwell to try to work out just what is going on.
Hucknall's always been that town on the outskirts of Nottingham. I don't think it's ever historically been considered, certainly by people in Hucknall, as part of Nottingham. Whereas now, I think that's changed. I think the things that have made that change are the tram. Direct transport into Nottingham, really easy access to the M1 motorway. Massive amount of development over the last 20 years, hundreds of houses. The only thing we need the momentum to continue. Not everyone can afford a house south of the river in West Bridgford. Not everyone can afford Bulletin. And yet, in Hucknall, you've got that opportunity, and people can certainly afford.
I think what you're saying there is Hucknall is West Bridgford on a budget.
Maybe. I think that might be stretching it a little, but we've got a fantastic artisan bakery around the corner. The smell of fresh bread in the morning. There is a demand, and we need more. We need more of that. We need those great bars. There are going to be more people coming here with the new developments going on. So the more those services are going to be in demand, is there an opportunity to service that demand? Yeah, I think so. Bridgford on a budget? Yeah, it's quite catchy, that, isn't it?
But rising house prices aren't good news for everyone, are they? And does Richard think these fancy shops moving in could be signs of gentrification in Hucknall?
I think we've got a long way to go. As prices rise, they rise everywhere. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think if you are a homeowner, you are pleased that the value of your property is rising. If you are a first-time buyer, do you want the prices to go up? Well, I think you do, because everybody wants to see steady growth.
So there you have it, big changes here in Hucknall according to Richard. But what do people in the town centre think? Is Hucknall going a bit posh?
No, and I live at Kirkby.
Never been posh, and I'm sorry to say, I thought the market would lighten it up, but I don't believe it will make any difference. They are trying. I can't ever see it vibrant. I just can't.
Yeah, there's an artisan bakers we've seen online and we went to investigate. So, yeah, very much so. Early stages, but, yeah, they're getting there.
It's improving, I'll say that. Whether it's posh or not, I don't think so, but certainly improving. But no, not Prosecco bar. That might be a little bit too far.
We enjoy coming here, get a nice class of people here.
Seem to have loads of bars and restaurants and cafes and nice areas to sit. Town seems to be thriving again a bit though, because it were going downhill, but now I think everybody can see the difference.
A lot of coffee shops and a lot of barbers, but I never thought there was an artisan bakery, so I'm going to go and look now, because that'll be lovely.
Well, we keep hearing about this artisan bakery. I thought I'd better pop in to see what all the fuss is about. And now in here, surrounded by loaves of sourdough and baguettes and croissants, is Philip. Now, Philip is the owner of Spelton Rye. Philip, what do you make of all these changes in Hucknall?
It's certainly becoming a nice place to live. I think also that the pedestrianised area in the town centre has really formed a nucleus for people to meet. And for us, it's nice to have nice shops and bars opening up around us.
So change very much in the air here in Hucknall. I'll give estate agent Richard the last word.
Hucknall is everything to every man. You know, if you want a Prosecco, go to the Prosecco bar. If you want a pint, go for a pint. But aren't we all getting a bit posher? Do we not all want a nice cup of coffee? Do we not all want freshly baked bread? What you're getting with Hucknall is something for everyone. That's why Hucknall's great. I think I'll be having this conversation now. I think I'll be having this conversation in 5 years' time. I genuinely believe this is a good place, it's on the up, and long may it continue.
That was a good sell, wasn't it? They did a good job there of tempting you to Hucknall. And then, of course, there's the line Bridgford on a budget. They could put that on the signs as you drive into Hucknall. Hucknall, welcome, Bridgford on a budget. Maybe not. But this is what they said about the tram, isn't it? The idea of the tram was that towns like Hucknall, like Beeston, like Clifton, I know Clifton's not a town, but places like that would be on the up because of the tram. And maybe that's what we're seeing now.
Yes, because people live there and then commute somewhere else to work, I think is the theory, isn't it? If you look at the house prices as well in Hucknall, they're reasonable. They really are quite reasonable. So semi-detached properties on average sold for £141,000 over the last year. So as semi-detached properties go, that's affordable. That's certainly Bridgford on a budget. It is.
It's 23 minutes past 7. Good morning.